What's going on, guys? JSGC 171 here, and I'm going to make a couple of apologies quickly. First up, I apologise if you can hear any background noise. It is raining pretty heavily, wind's picking up, but it is still really warm, so I'm having to have the windows still open, so it might pick up a little bit of extra noise. So if it does, if my microphone's picking it up, I apologise. Second of all, I don't feel too great. Seems to be a bug going round, so if I don't sound too great, then that's my excuse as to why. So let's crack on with the Man City transfer update number 3. Now, first up, we'll start with the ins again. Man City haven't signed anyone in the past week, but however, they are closing apparently on a couple of deals, so we'll give you an update on all the players that we're getting reportedly close to. First up, we'll start with Dani Alves. Now, this week, Dani Alves has had his contract mutually terminated at request of Dani Alves and his agent by Juventus. So his last year of his contract that he was going into this season has been terminated, which makes him a free agent. Chelsea are interested, Man City are interested. Pep Guardiola's had a word with Dani Alves. Dani Alves closing in on a move to Man City. No medical has taken place. I'm not sure if personal terms have been agreed yet, so that deal may well be some way away off. I've not seen any reports or any pictures of Dani Alves arriving into Manchester, so that deal isn't imminent like Ederson's deal was, so I don't expect that will be going through anytime soon. Certainly not today, certainly not this weekend. I'd be surprised if it does. When the deal does go through eventually, there'll be a video on it, so don't forget to check the video out. I'll do a video on each player when Man City sign them. There'll be a video in there of their best moments that they've done throughout the last year or two, and also where they're going to fit into Man City and what they bring to the team and how good of a deal the signing will be. Next up is Benjamin Mendy. Now, Liverpool have inquired about Mendy, apparently the left-back, but they've been told that Man City is kind of a near enough done deal. I've heard £39 million deal, apparently close. That'd be an exciting signing. It'd be a really decent signing. I suspect that if the Benjamin Mendy deal does go through, then we won't be signing Ryan Bertrand, certainly not this window. So we're struggling a bit for the English quota, in my opinion. So whether Benjamin Mendy's deal happens or not is only a rumour. So it'll be interesting to see if we sign Mendy or Bertrand. But that's about the only rumour that we have on the dealings, because there isn't actually anything factual coming out there. I know Benjamin Mendy's out on holiday at the moment, so while these players are on holiday, deals won't be happening. So this might go on for another week or two where nothing else is happening. But a deal that is also apparently trying to be negotiated is a deal with Kyle Walker. Now, a couple of weeks ago reported that Tottenham wanted £60 million. The first up said 50 million, they upped it to 60 to try and force it through. Apparently Man City made a bid, but I've not heard anything since that, so I presume either Man City haven't made a bid, or the bid has been instantly rejected because it was really low on the value. But I think Man City are prepared to go up to around £40 million, and apparently Tottenham put a price tag now this week at £45 million. So I imagine Man City can negotiate with that if that does happen. He's English, he's quick, he's powerful, and he's a lot younger than Dani Alves, so that might sort out the right back problem. Now we're getting linked with a load of wing backs. So I presume we're not signing a centre-back, which is concerning, because if Vincent Kompany does get an injury this season, and it's certainly any length of time, then we are struggling. Again, we've got no cover for Fernandinho, other than Fabian Delph, whose injury record since joining Man City hasn't been great. So there's a couple of positions there that could really done with being improved. Now, Man City have been a bit shrewd, getting Dani Alves on a free contract rather than paying the reported £40 million that they wanted for Fabinho, who is closing on a move to Man United. So that deal to Man City isn't happening. So that's just straight up there. In terms of the attackers, this week Sky Sports linked Man City with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, which is just a lie. We're not in for Aubameyang. We don't need a striker. We've got Gabriel Jesus. We've got Sergio Aguero. And I've also reported that we are after one more attacker. We're not after a striker. We're after an attacker because we're a bit short on the wings, particularly when the inevitable Nolito does leave Man City. So we won't have Navas, we won't have Nolito. So we're left with Sterling, who can play up front, Leroy Sané, and that's about it. Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, they're not strikers or out-and-out attackers, so we're kind of short on the wings. But I imagine Man City are waiting to sell a few players, which we'll get onto in a moment. And the last update is on Alexis Sanchez. which is there is no update other than Arsenal really don't want to sell him. Now, the Bayern Munich rumours have gone a bit quiet, whereas Arsenal are hoping to try and get some kind of negotiations in with Ozil and Sanchez. Sanchez has appeared on Arsenal's new kit, so make of that what you will. I'm not sure if we're signing Sanchez. I'm not sure if Sanchez is going to see out his last year and leave for free. If he has every intention of doing that, I do imagine Arsenal will be selling this summer to try and get as much money for him as possible, because you don't really want an unhappy player at your football club not wanting to play, just waiting for the contract to be burnt down, like, for example, the one with Robert Lewandowski that went to Bayern Munich from Borussia Dortmund. So we'll move on to the outs now. This is a little bit more interesting. We don't have any updates on Nolito, obviously. Samir Nasri is apparently not wanted by anyone around Europe. He's been linked with a move to China, and that leaves a spot open at Sevilla, which might force through a move then for Nolito, who's been linked with Sevilla. Iheanacho's update. Leicester are now in for Iheanacho. £20 to £25 million. Good deal for Man City if they can get £25 million, in my opinion. Mangala has been linked with an £18 million move to Lyon. He's been spotted in Lyon. So make of that what you will. Maybe that was for personal terms. Maybe that was for a medical. Maybe the deal is imminent. Now, I've spoken to a Lyon fan who says that I thought maybe it'll probably end up being a loan deal, because that's how Man City work. They love just sending players out on loan. But he said that Lyon don't really like loaning any players. They like signing them, so perhaps the £18 million deal will happen. If so, it's disappointing that we signed him for £40 million, selling him for well less than half of what we signed him for. But £18 million for a player that's not played particularly well for the last 2 or 3 seasons isn't a bad deal. And Mangala, I do have a soft spot for him. I do like Mangala. I think he's powerful, strong, quick. He's just bad at passing. And certain games suit him. Playing against strikers that aren't quick but powerful suits him. Against neat, tricky little strikers isn't his A game for marking them. He's kind of a bit reckless. So we'll see what happens there. I wish him all the best if he does end up sealing his transfer permanently or on loan to Lyon if he ends up going there. Now, in terms of elsewhere on the pitch, none of our 3 contracts, I think, have got new clubs, apart from Zabaleta, who signed for West Ham, obviously. Joe Hart, still no one's in for Joe Hart. Apparently Man City wanted between £20 and £25 million, which I find ludicrous. I'm not sure Man City are ever going to get £20 to £25 million. I personally valued him at around 15. I think they'll get less than that, if I'm honest with you. West Ham linked with a loan move. Man City have rejected that loan move. So Man City want permanent sales for their players. And another one, Fernando. Fernando has been linked with Newcastle. An £8 million deal is what Man City want. Newcastle are hoping to get him on the cheap. Hoping to get him for less than 5. Less than £5 million. I'm not sure Man City are going to deal with that. And imagine that transfer might drag on for some time, because Newcastle are dragging their feet a little bit with that deal. Celina is now closing in on a move to Ipswich. I did state in previous videos that I thought Celina's better loan move would be to Bolton, because I feel like he'll play more and it's more local. Ipswich is quite far away. It's one of the most awkward places in England to get to. But obviously if he ends up moving there, then I wish him all the best and hope he has a good spell with Ipswich. And we'll see what gets made of that. Tosha Adebayoyo signed a new contract at Man City. He's been linked with the outs now, because apparently he's now been made available for a loan move away from Man City. Premier League and Championship clubs been linked, so we'll see what happens with that one. I think that's about it for this week's transfer update. There's quite a lot happening with the outgoings, but nothing confirmed yet. Hoping we'll get at least a couple of deals confirmed in the next week, whether it's out or in. Closing on Dani Alves, to summarise. A couple of the young players closing in on loan moves. Bertrand, Celina, Adebayoyo. I think players like Matthew and Angelina also are going to head abroad as well. I think that's one's kind of summarises it up. So we'll see you for the next video, which will be next week for the next Man City transfer update. Hope you'll have a nice day. It's been JSGC 171. Peace. Ciao for now.